Well, welcome to Wednesday, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. We've thought about how Jesus is glorified. We've thought about how he shares his glory. And today I want us to think about how his glory unites his people. Look at verses 22 and 23. Jesus prays that he has given his glory to them, that they may be one as we are one. I and them, you and me, that they may be perfectly one. In what sense has he given them his glory? Well, we've been thinking how his glory is the display of his saving actions in the world. At the cross, the resurrection, the ascension, and his coming. As we look at those things and see what they mean, we see his brilliance and his splendour and his majesty. If that is what his glory is, him giving them his glory is like giving them the understanding and the mechanics of what all those things mean. In other words, giving them his glory is giving them the gospel. This whole prayer turns on verse 20, where he says that I'm not praying for the disciples alone, I'm praying for all that will believe in me through their message. The disciples had a special role, the apostles had a special role in delivering the gospel. And I think it's in this sense that he's given them his glory. He's given them the treasure map, if you like, the password, the means by which they can access his glory, and that is through the message of the gospel. The point, though, of the verse is not that he's given them the gospel, which he has, his glory. The point is that his glory through this message might unite them as one. The purpose is that every believer might be united together, akin to the Father and the Son being united. He says, I in them and you in me, that they may be perfectly one. The glory of the Son is what unites us together. And that unity is something that exists in heaven. We are all children of God. When we trusted in him, we became Christians. We took on the family name and we are united in the heavenly realms. But here on earth, there is a process to work through. We've got to learn how we express that unity. We've got to learn how we live out our oneness and our unity. And the glory of Christ is our uniting mechanism. The gospel is our means by which we can learn to do that. In Colossians chapter 3, verse 11, talking about the church, Paul says, here there is no Gentile or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave or free, but Christ is all and is in all. If we were writing that today, we might put something like, in the church, there isn't a left wing or a right wing. There isn't a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher or a bin man. There isn't the upper class, the middle class and the lower class. Christ is all to this group of people and he is in all. Paul goes on to say, because that is who you are, bear with each other, forgive each other, as the Lord has forgiven you. Put on love, which binds all these things together in perfect unity. We can do those things as we learn about the glory of the Lord, the cross, the resurrection, the ascension. As we delve into those things together, they have a uniting factor. That we're not just who we are from a worldly point of view, but we are children of God, bought by him, precious to him, and united in him. And that is the means by which we can learn to love one another. When Paul prays, whatever you do, whether you eat or drink, do all to the glory of God, he's not just simply saying try your best in all your daily activities. If you look at the context of that quote, it flows out of not considering yourself above anyone else. He says, don't seek your own good, but the good of others. And he's talking about, think about how you live, think about what you say, think about how you eat. Do it all to the glory of God. And what it means is love your brothers and your sisters. Living life to the glory of God means it desperately matters how we treat each other at church. And the question is, do we tolerate each other, wishing that they were better than they are? Or with sincere love that's been shaped by the glory of God in our lives, do we really love one another and not look to our own good, but to the good of others? As we learn to invest ourselves in each other's lives and seek the glory of God in our community, Jesus says, the world will know that you have sent me. That's what he goes on to say in those verses. What's our desire for church family life? Is it me and my goods, or is it to seek the good of our brothers and sisters? Whether we eat or drink, whatever we do at church, are we doing it for the glory of God and the benefit of others?